Hello and welcome back to Chat About It, Don't Shout About It with me, Rachel, aka the Queen of the Woke, as crowned by one of my haters. And I'm also a new member of the official India Blocked Me Club. Golf claps, golf claps. Of course, we are actually talking today, I've mentioned it already, India and J.K. Rowling. This is a doozy. Now, this obviously broke a couple of days ago. I was watching this on Twitter unfold before my very eyes, and now we're going to talk about it because we have yet to talk about it. I've been working overtime this week, so without further ado, please do subscribe to the channel. Now, I am going to try and stay as neutral as possible. Some of you may already know my stance on what I think about J.K. Rowling. Go and watch past videos. I'm very clear on my stance, so I'm trying to approach this from a more neutral aspect if I can. But we will make a start with the author herself. Now, a couple of days ago, J.K. Rowling made this tweet, and I'm going to read it to you. Now, obviously, YouTube has certain things in place that quashes out certain words and, makes it a little bit tricky and will run the video into the ground, although I'm sure that people will try to do that anyway. But I'm going to read it to you. We don't leave our doors and windows wide open when we go out because thieves will find a way in anyway. Strangely, I have never heard anyone say, let's stop background checking teachers, because that word with files will always find a way to interfere with kids. When all men, however they identify, are banned from women's spaces, those who disregard the ban can be challenged inside the space and out. They mark themselves out as suspicious by breaking a rule decent men respect. Nobody claims the rule has successfully kept out every single man. That's true. Who wants to commit voyeurism or SA? What we're saying is that allowing males into female-only spaces on the basis of their claim to be a woman removes an obstacle that has hitherto been proven to increase women and girls' safety. 88% of SA crimes committed in changing rooms and locker rooms happen in those that are unisex. Why? Because malign men just don't have to justify their presence near unclothed women and girls. They can't be challenged. They don't stand out. This is obvious to all but the terminally naive. It is seldom noted that every single man arguing for the removal of single-sex spaces is arguing for his own right to enter those spaces. I know from experience that they feign outrage when this point is put to them, gibbering that they're just being good, virtuous progressives who are standing up for trans women, that they personally won't be availing themselves of the new opportunities afforded to them. The fact remains that instead of calling out male violence against trans women and working to make male spaces safer, these men have thrown their energy into the fight to remove women and girls' rights to safety, privacy, and dignity. And if anyone genuinely believes none of these enthusiastic, heterosexual, non-trans identified male allies aren't personally enthralled by the idea of women and girls losing basic protections, I have several bridges to tell you. And now, obviously, this is not all of it, but this is the main bulk. This is what she tweeted. Okay. And this is what led to spark the outrage. Now, there is no, obviously I will link this as well, but there's no mention of India. If we go down, no, you can keep scrolling down. No mention of India. I will obviously link it so you can go and check for yourself. You have every right to do that. It's better to be informed than not informed. So just keep going down. Nothing. Okay. And then if we go here, this is the same tweet. I've just opened it in a different tab because it was easier for me to locate it and do it as separate tabs. So if we go down, there are some stuff, there are bits that has happened sort of like in between here. So J.K. Rowling says, somebody really should have explained to you that your hurt feelings don't trump other people's rights, nor are women and girls validation props or comfort blankets. Now, she was responding to someone else. Then Socialist Stanley tweets this. Hi, Joanne. So you are saying this lady should use the men's locker room then? Okay. And here we have a GIF, whatever you want to call it. And J.K. Rowling said, you've sent me the wrong video. I noticed something the other day. Sam, he, him said it's not a video, it's a GIF. Or where do videos come from? GIFs come from or whatever, GIF, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, she says, you've sent me the wrong video. There isn't a lady in this one, just a man reveling in his misogynistic performance of what he thinks to be what he thinks women means. Narcissistic, shallow, and exhibitionist. Okay, so she didn't hold back. J.K. Rowling didn't hold back. It was offered to her on a plate. If I go down, actually, was there another response to this? Let me just double check. No, but there you go. That's what she said. Okay. And then, of course, the victimhood, as some people have called it, began. Because according to the Independent, J.K. Rowling deliberately misgenders trans activist India Willoughby. Okay, first of all, wasn't deliberate. I just want to be clear on that, because J.K. Rowling wasn't talking about India. It was offered to her on a plate, and she stated basic biological facts. Okay, so I just want that to be clear. Whilst I'm trying to stay back, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with stating biology. Was it right for J.K. Rowling to say that? I'll let you decide as the viewer. I know what I think, but I am presenting the facts here of what happened. So the Independent said J.K. Rowling is facing backlash again after deliberately misgendering trans activist India Willoughby. The Harry Potter author has faced repeated criticism in recent years. I think it's about 6 years, actually, over her views on transgender rights, saying previously that she would rather go to jail than refer to a trans person by their preferred pronouns. On Sunday, 3rd of March, Rowling shared a lengthy tirade against the idea of trans women being allowed in female locker rooms. And it obviously then quotes what we've just read. And then Rowling responded to a Twitter/X user who sent her a video of Willoughby, with the user asking, "Hi, Joanne. So you are saying this lady should use the men's locker room then?" In response, J.K. Rowling obviously said what we just read. And the user replied, this is what I was looking for, actually. The user replied, "If India is a misogynist, why does she become a woman? Think." And Rowling wrote back, "India didn't become a woman. India is cosplaying a misogynistic male fantasy of what a woman is." Wow, that's very blunt, very direct, very to the point. And J.K. Rowling is standing her ground on it. Now, Willoughby is Britain's first transgender newsreader and the first transgender co-host in an all-women talk show, Loose Women, on ITV. Willoughby responded to Rowling's comments on Monday, writing on X, "Genuinely disgusted by this grotesque transphobia, which is upsetting. I am every bit as much a woman as J.K. Rowling, recognized in law and by everyone I interact with every day, unless they are, of course, in the India Blocked Me Club. The debate about whether J.K. Rowling is a transphobe is over." Is it? Is it really? I think it's still ongoing here. In a separate tweet, Rowling added, accurately, sexing trans-identified men who send misogynistic abuse to women is not discrimination. Man is not a slur. I know a lot of you think the UN should intervene whenever women bruise your egos, but there is no right to universal validation. And then Willoughby took the row further. Whoa, where did that jump to? By later tweeting, and I'm glad that it's here actually, because I don't see her tweets, India's tweets. So if I ever get murdered, you know who to blame. Stochastic, I think I've said that right, terrorism. And that refers to when popular figures publicly demonize a person or a group in such a way that inspires their supporters to commit a violent act against the target of speech. Right. Okay. I'm not going to say what I was thinking there. This is not for the first time the pair have clashed, and then it just talks about, oh, sorry, this is so jumpy. India saying that India is more of a woman than Rowling will ever be. This was screenshotted and shared by the Harry Potter author who captioned it with citation needed. Wow. Sorry, I'm laughing because I wasn't aware that that happened. So now we get to India. India did an interview with Byline TV. And Byline TV sent out a tweet 20 hours ago. And they say, India Willoughby has called the police and reported J.K. Rowling for an alleged hate crime for misgendering her. Now, obviously, the users of X did not hold back. They added a community note. In the UK, discrimination against someone with a protected characteristic may be a crime. However, it is not a crime to refer to a trans-identified person by their sex. Such speech is recognised as an expression of belief and protected under the Equality Act of 2010, which is intriguing, of course. So we're going to watch what India has to say now.
So, India, how was the last 24 hours been? Where do I start? A living hell. It's an absolute maelstrom of hate on Twitter. And it all results from a conversation that I wasn't even involved with.
That's true. India wasn't involved with it.
Hey, Rowling took it upon herself to introduce my name into a conversation, calling me a man, calling me he.
Right, stop. I know I'm trying to keep my opinion out of this, but I can't ignore that. That's a lie. That is a straight up lie. J.K. Rowling did not take it upon herself to introduce you into the conversation. That was Socialist Stanley who took it upon themselves to introduce you into the conversation. If you're a journalist, you should know that you need to present the facts, and the journalist that's with India should have pushed back on that.
Him, and I can't remember the next bit, but it was along the lines of being a parody of a woman. I think it was a grotesque parody of a woman, something like that. And it's just insulting. It was just so dehumanizing, and I'm really tired of it.
Aren't we all?
And at the end of the day, it is a hate crime.
Is it?
Transgender identity is a protected characteristic, just as race is, just as sexuality is. And the equivalent of what J.K. Rowling said, calling a trans person a man, deliberately knowing that that person is a woman, and I am a woman, regardless of what J.K. Rowling says. I've been through everything that's required of me. My birth certificate says female, my passport, all my documents. I am legally recognized as a woman.
So
for J.K.
India has a
Rowling to
GRC.
deliberately, and that is the key word, misgender me, knowing who I am, is grossly offensive. It is a hate crime, and it should be treated just as somebody calling a black person the N word or an Asian person the P word or a gay
Why is this
person the F
acceptable
word.
now? It seems like the level of transphobia that's been spouted by people like her is completely acceptable on the internet. How has that happened?
It's been the
That's biased, isn't it? You just accused J.K. Rowling of transphobia. I know I'm trying to take a step back and not be so opinionated on my stances here, but when you've got an interviewer that doesn't push back on something because there's a blatant lie, and then actually says in the interview about JK's transphobia, I question the validity then of the interview.
storm. It's been fomented by a culture wars government and British media, I'm sorry to say, the bulk of which now is right wing, and trans people are completely locked out of this. There are something like 1,000 articles per month in the UK alone on people like me. We're literally 0.2% of the population, which is around 250,000 people, almost the same size as the Jewish community. Now, if you had 1,000 stories a month that were all hostile, all propagating myths and rumors in a negative way about a group, let's say it was the Jewish community, not
Okay.
trans people.
I will obviously link the full interview. You can go and watch it. I just wanted to select that beginning bit because that's the bit that's featured on X, and that's what has the allegations that India is alleging to. So if this goes ahead and the police then decide that what J.K. Rowling did was a hate crime, then we need to start looking at society as a bigger whole and actually defining what it means to be a hate crime, because what a hate crime actually means, because I see people on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, targeting other people and calling people a transphobe, a bigot, this, that, and the other, yada, yada. Name flies around everywhere, insults fly around everywhere, and it's all to do with gender ideology. I think we need to actually have a really good look into everything that's going on. And I would also say that if J.K. Rowling, if this goes against J.K. Rowling, then that's what happens. I'll probably be going down with her. But if it goes in J.K. Rowling's favor, then I think maybe people should actually look at other people who do targeted hate. I don't ever recall J.K. Rowling actually directly in a tweet directly aiming stuff like this at specific people. I don't recall that. Now, I might be wrong. But I do recall India doing it. I do recall that. Debbie Hayton being one of them. So, I don't know. What's going to happen? This is really interesting. Is J.K. Rowling going down? Is India going to win this? Or is India going to become the person under fire for something? Who knows? I'm going to follow it and find out, even if that means running my channel into the ground. Let me know what you think. Chat about it, don't shout about it. And join me later on at 8 p.m. British Standard Time, because I will be in a live stream with Culture Pop with B Hub. So I will see you then, Culture Council. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.